Hey guys, Scott from Aristocob.com here.
And Seth from Aristocob.com here.
And together, the three of us, including you, who I suppose are also from Aristocob.com, it's Markwood Ben's Breakfast Club. Welcome back once again. For those of you who are new, where you been? Welcome.
Welcome back for the first time.
Welcome back for the first time. You know what? We want you to feel at home here in my shop where it's
take
freezing
off your
cold.
pants.
Or you can just loosen them.
Take off your pants, get a brick of cheese and some crackers, pepperonis.
Ooh, this is sounding good.
I know. Right at home, right?
Yeah, that's true. All right. We are about to be smoking some vanilla cream from Mac Baren. Loose cut aromatic pipe tobacco. And I have already loaded my pipe.
Whoa,
You didn't just take a
whoa.
sip. You didn't take a sip of that monster, did you?
The normal one, not the Uber. Not the German monster. Uber monster? Alright, so I got some stones in my pipe. Because apparently that's a thing.
Yeah, a minute ago he accidentally passed a stone.
I did. Fell right on out of there. Soon, in a few weeks, I might be able to tell you how I have been missing out all this time. I've never experienced pipe smoking until you put stones in your pipe.
Not smoking without kitty litter in your pipe.
Tiny little rocks that you can get in the outside, but you pay a lot for the little tin.
And I believe my Keystone pipe is going to go into my rack of oddities.
Yeah.
This is made in Belgium.
Do we have a rack of oddities?
Wait. Does that say made in Bulgaria? Where does that say? Can you read that?
Denmark. No joke.
Close.
It says Denmark. Bulgaria? Belgium? Denmark. Uber monster.
Oh man. Oh, get lit.
I'm liking it less and less. Das Uber monster. So far, smoking with tiny little rocks in my pipe. The only noticeable difference I've experienced is that it creates a small shelf of air that prevents even with the roughest of tamping. Yeah, it keeps it from getting them too packed up.
Now that's assuming
It's
you don't
very airy.
accidentally suck a
Tiny rock into your throat. Some of the tiny rocks are really tiny. Really. Let me see if I can find one. Small enough to
they're kind of like
easily
nerds,
fit through.
right? Like
Yeah, almost.
Very randomly sized.
Yeah, some of them
pieces.
are significant, but others are just incredibly small, which you find in kitty litter. So I could see that happening. One just going right sucked up right in here.
Yeah.
That would be bad.
So I didn't tell you about Vegas.
No, you did not.
I was recently in Las Wages, and was there for a trade show. The trade show is the Kitchen and Bath Show. Randy Knock, a knot pipes, was there as well. And of course, we didn't see each other. And stayed at the Tropicana, and I stopped staying at the Tropicana about 10 years ago. Did a number of classes there, and it was not a good experience. It was getting very old and run down. And we were always staying at the Hilton that's out there by the convention center, not on the Strip, off the Strip a bit east. Big, huge place. It is the place that Elvis built. That's where Elvis performed when he was in Vegas in his last days. That was also where Barry Manilow was performing. Every time I was there, Barry Manilow was performing.
Can you visit
there.
the Golden Toilet where Elvis died? His death toilet?
In Graceland? I suppose you could. What does that have to do with
They didn't have it shipped in?
being... I don't think so.
It's a shame. Clearly, I'm too young to know Elvis-y things.
Yes, you are. Anyway, the Hilton was sold to somebody else. It's now called
Paris.
Westland, something like that. Completely different name. No longer associated with Hilton. I'm a Hilton Honors member, and so I try to stay at Hampton Inns and Hilton properties. And so I was excited to learn two things. The first one was that the Hilton bought the Tropicana, and secondly, or that Hilton bought the Tropicana, and secondly, that they sunk over $500 million into renovation. Gosh. And I got to tell you, I was impressed. It was pretty nice. The hotel rooms were nice and clean, and they had a feel more of like an apartment than anything else. Like in the rooms, they had white plantation shutters, right? That you can move the shutters up and down. I like those. Curtains in hotel rooms, always, you pull them together, they want to pull apart. And even then, I don't want to touch them because they're fabric and they just get nasty. Shutters don't do that. And shutters you can adjust to where you're getting light without exposing the world to yourself, or vice versa.
If you're watching YouTube, it's the thing to do.
I know. But in general, it was really a nice stay, and we had a national sales meeting there. My employer did, and that went really, really well through their conference rooms, conference center there. And but the thing that was so exciting for me was my buddy Briscoe says he knows I don't gamble. I gamble. I'll sit down at a penny slot machine whenever I want a Diet Coke, and I'll look around and wait until I see a cocktail waitress is coming close, and then I'll stick $5 in or something, so it doesn't look like there's nothing in the machine. I'll ask for a Diet Coke, and then I'll just stop until I see her coming back, and then I'll pretend I'm playing. And usually, even with that, I'll end up being up at the end of the trip. I think one year I got playing some $5 nickel game. I bought a roll of nickels, and I walked away from that with all the sodas I could drink, and I made $18.
Nice.
Yeah. So Briscoe says, "Did you see the Willy Wonka machine?" No, I did not. And he leads me over, and there's two Willy Wonka slot machines, and they have modern slot machines now aren't just three wheels spinning. It's a computer screen, and this machine plays with pennies, but you put bills in and you bet pennies, and the minimum that you can bet is 40 pennies. Yeah, so 40 cents per spin. But what was really amazing about it was this is Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The Oompa Loompas come out on the screen and sing for you, and they give you wild cards.
Wilder cards.
Wilder, I see what you did there, son.
Yeah.
And you can land, if you get 3 Wonkavaders anywhere on the screen, you get to go for a ride in the Wonkavator, and it goes past these various bonuses, and then finally it kind of docks with one, and you get, like, in my case, 10 free spins.
What?
And the thing would spin, and you get all this. Anyway,
Did you get a golden ticket?
I did not. They have a deal where at the end of a bonus round like that, it exposes or shows you some candy bars, and you see the wrapper start to peel back, and then it's just candy. If you get the golden ticket, you get like $5,000, and it's one of those progressive slots. So up above it, they've got a dollar amount. In our case, it was like $600,000.
Would you have cried because of the $600,000, or because you got the golden ticket? I would have cried because I got a golden ticket. There is no question about it. Not the money, the golden ticket. Yeah.
So I put in a $20 bill because it's what I had, and played it with Briscoe for. He was sitting to the left of me, and when I hit the cash out button, it dispensed back to me $94 and some odd cents.
Really?
So I made $70 some.
Holy cow! That's
on my
awesome.
$20. Well, Briscoe was feeling kind of bad. He was enjoying it because you're sitting in a chair that's vibrating. It has Bose speakers behind you and right in front of you, and they're singing all these songs, and the Oompa
totally
Loompas
immersive.
It was.
You are Charlie, huh?
It was so fun. I have to tell you, from an entertainment standpoint, it was very entertaining for me. So the next night, Briscoe says, "So we're going to go visit visit Mr. Wonka? Yeah, we are. So we go back and we sit down. This time I'm being more conservative. I stick a $5 bill in because now I've got $5. Briscoe puts in 20. And he was almost out of his 20 when he gets to ride on the Wonkavator. And he gets so many bonus points. And when he was done, he cashed out. I believe he had $104 handed to him.
Wow.
So, all in all, that was a pretty cool game.
Yeah.
I feel like
giving
a liability statement. That our experiences may not be indicative.
So what I hear is, kids, if you're gonna go gambling, gamble with Wonka. And adults, you might get a chance to ride on the Wonkavator. So when it was done, were you in a different part of the casino? I mean, how immersive?
It went
how
upways
immersive
and downways and sideways and slantways.
I have heard that they can do that. Yes. You guys should have taken one and roll it into the elevator.
Take it up to my room.
Played from the elevator. And only press the button. Pull the emergency button and then only release it when you get up.
It had, for me, had nothing to do with gambling. It was so much fun to hear that music being played and to watch the various characters and watch the Oompa Loompas come out, and you earn these, like I say, like wild cards.
Man. That's how they suck you in.
I've never had a game at a gaming establishment like that suck me in like that thing did. But I have to tell you, it was entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which is why they only had 2 of them, because they spread out and have superheroes and pirates, and I think I've seen the Princess Bride.
These 2 were back to back with Lord of the Rings.
Yep. So that they tickle various
fancies.
Interests. That's right.
Briscoe last year was playing the Beverly Hillbillies.
I believe that.
I didn't see anywhere. Oh my gosh! There are so many Wheel of Fortune. Mm-hmm. Wheel of Fortune. Dun, 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 dun.
It's the reason that show's been on for 80 years.
Everywhere you go. And what's really bizarre, if you've not been to Vegas, you get off the airplane and you walk into the terminal, and there, from the moment you get off the plane till you get to baggage claim, there are opportunities to lose your money. And they get your first dollar and they get your last dollar as you're leaving. I sent a text message to one of my bro workers, because I'm sitting watching with the president of our company, watching this guy go over and sit down and feed money in the machine. It's like, what, didn't Vegas get all your cash?
Yeah.
Anyway, when it was all said and done, I think that they did.
Keep you busy. Keep you busy the whole time through.
Now, this time we didn't go visit Chumley, but
no?
But Briscoe and I one evening,
that because
on a previous trip,
his incredible weight loss is too...
It's hard to find now.
Yeah.
Big Hoss? He's hardly even a Hoss now.
I know. Little Hoss.
He's got the beard now that makes him more Hoss-like.
Oh, really? I don't know. I don't keep up with those things. Now, if you're talking Gold Rush, maybe. But
you watching that?
I am.
I like Gold Rush.
It's good this season.
I try. It's really hard for me, especially I was speaking before 120 sales reps and talking about such motivational things as, selling, best practices and all that. And I love analogies like gold mining. And I had given an analogy about mining our accounts the year before Gold Rush came out. And when Gold Rush came out, now I got pictures I can put on my PowerPoints and stories to share. And that was the first year, too, that Parker Snovel was working in his grandpa's mine, the Big Nugget mine, and was running his grandpa's original 25-year-old tailings back through the sluice, because technology had improved to the point where it was, and the cost of gold had gone up. It was worth finding the little remnants of gold. In 2007-ish, 8 was the first time I used that analogy, because the economy was sucking, and what we were asking our sales reps to do was while it's tempting to go prospecting, to go out and call on 100 new accounts and hope that they're going to buy hardware from us,
Go back where you know there might be gold.
you got customers that already like us and who are loyal to us. Go back to them and see if you're meeting all their needs. Is there anything else you can do for them? And it helped our company not only survive the downturn, but we gained market share. And it was a wonderful sales meeting with about 48 of the sales reps receiving awards for blowing their goals out of the water.
Wow.
I mean, it was a great sign that our guys are on the right track, and that is because of the guidance that we were given by the head of our sales and marketing department and our president of our company to, just go find ways to satisfy our customers that already like us.
Yeah.
It was really good advice.
Yeah, we, in my job, I'm now working managing the service division of a plumbing company, and we're right in that same boat. Right now, it being winter, we get a lot of calls in with burst pipes, and a lot of our business comes to us. But that's not always the case, and so we are trying to figure out how can we engage with customers. How do you call somebody up and say, hey,
how's your toilet running?
that's it. Yeah, and so finding the right finding the right angle to do that, it's challenging, and nobody on the call center side likes to make those calls. Nobody really enjoys cold calls when they're first starting out, until they get into the habit of it and the swing of it. But one of the things we're talking with a mentor for the company, and he said, look, your customers are your friends. They already have done business with you. If you did right by them, they want to do more business with you. And if you provide them with the right opportunity at the right time, they will do business with you. Mm-hmm. So, for us, that means offering to do a full home inspection. That means offering to flush their water heater. Means offering to, do any of these other maintenance services that keeps them from spending more money later, but for us means being able to keep our technicians working now when things are slow. So,
well, I know with the salespeople that I work with, I'm so blessed because our company does a great job in the hiring process. They're very slow to hire, and they make sure that the people that they hire are the kind of folks that we want to put in front of our customers representing us, because in many cases, our salespeople are the only face of our company that our customers are ever going to see. And it's very, very rare as I travel along with these guys that they fall into the bad habits of not planning their day, showing up at an account and basically wasting their time. I've been on those calls. And it's like, these are business people. They've got things to do. They're friendly, but they don't want to stand around for half an hour and talk about football. As much as they might like that, they can't do that. And if they do it once, they'll probably never see you again.
Do it for 2 minutes or 5 minutes to make sure they like you, and then transition into the business part.
And the other aspect of this, and I hate to turn this into sales training, but all of the people that we're calling on, cabinet shops and furniture manufacturers and things like that, they all employ salespeople too. And they expect a professional salesperson to be organized, to have thought about why they're there, and to have some value that they can bring to the conversation. And to some degree, even more importantly, and I just completely lost my thought on the most important part.
Isn't that the way? Never. No,
always.
Wait, always.
No, wait, it was never. Gosh, where was I headed
while
with
you
that?
think about that.
No, I don't want to.
Okay. One of the things that I remember we talked about, there was a show on MTV or VH1 called The Pickup Artist.
Yes.
And that is an incredible...
Season 1.
Right, yeah. That is an incredible mining opportunity for business, because a lot of the skills that they teach are applicable to sales and are applicable to people skills. And, it's not the sort of thing that you would want to use as training material to just set in front of somebody. But there's great information that you can, as one pastor says, take the fish and leave the bones. You take the parts that are relevant and then leave everything else, and you can learn something from any situation. And one of the things
I got my thought.
All right, hit it.
Sorry. The thing about calling on professional business people is they understand that we're salespeople and we need to make a sale.
Yeah.
And they appreciate somebody who, again, is there for a reason, pleads their case well, and then ultimately asks for the sale or tries to find out how they can move the ball forward in the process. And they respect a good salesperson and like to do business with good salespeople. And not, that's not something that you need to be timid about. People that don't ever close the sale, don't ever bother to tie a bow on it, are the same people who will come back a month later and see that the customer has purchased the very thing that they were talking about, but bought it from my competitor. Why didn't you buy that from me? Which is a horrible question to ask somebody, right? Put them on the spot. But, if you don't ask for the sale or give them the opportunity to buy, why would they?
Yep.
So, anyway, back to you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the thing that... one of the lessons that really comes across in the Pickup Artist Season 1 is the importance of demonstrating value. And so when you have a salesperson, one of the things that I'm working on developing within our sales team are the plumbers. And so they don't have a sales background, most of them. They have a plumbing background. And so teaching
There's a reason why they're plumbers, why
That's
they
right.
chose to be plumbers.
So teaching them sales skills is a unique challenge. And one of the things that I'm trying to emphasize now is the importance of demonstrating the value of the company and the value of the product. And when you have a salesperson that truly can recognize that what they have to offer the customer is valuable to the customer, it makes it a whole lot easier for them to make the ask and to make the sale. Once they've asked the customer, what are your needs? And the customer says, well, I need a toilet. You say, that's great. We have an excellent toilet. Let me tell you more about it.
With the company I sell or work for as a trainer, we sell hardware for cabinets. There's only a limited number of things a customer might be interested in. They want a hinge. Well, we have hundreds of hinges. And you could either take that statement, hey, I need a hinge, and then go to the catalog and try to show them every possible iteration, or you can leave the catalog shut and say, well, what is it you're building? How do you want the doors to function? Do you want them to soft close? What's the heaviest, tallest, widest door that you're working with? How about the smallest? And then from that information, you can open up one page of the catalog and sell them something. And instead, some people would default to either trying to educate the customer with everything in the catalog, or I think in some cases even worse, defaulting to, well, let me send you a sample. I wasn't shopping for a sample. I need a solution. And what happens when we send them a sample is now 3 days later when the sample's sitting on their desk, and I won't be back for a month, by the way. My competitor who sells a similar product is going to go, hey, I see you're looking at hinges. They're sitting on their desk, and they make the sale. So,
that serves three purposes. First is you're asking questions, so you're leading the conversation to get the information that you want, or to get pertinent information.
Right.
You are endearing yourself to them in that process.
Because you're not selling them.
Because you're showing them, you're showing interest. What are your needs? And then also, if you're asking the right questions and doing that the right way, then you are in that process of leading the conversation, endearing yourself to them. Then you're gathering the right information that you need, so you, who know the catalog, can narrow it down to that one page.
I tell our sales guys, imagine that you're an archer, and there's a target that's across the field that you're going to have to hit. For every question that you ask and get first off, a good question that gives you good information back, it's as if you're getting handed an additional arrow to put in your quiver, and you get to take a step forward. And the more information you gather, the better your odds are of directing the customer to the correct product, the correct solution. And could you imagine being able to take one arrow out of your quiver and go poke and hit the bullseye?
Yeah.
Isn't that what you would want? And as a customer, I would like a salesperson to listen to what I'm saying and what I'm looking for and what my needs are and what my ability to pay is and all that jazz before they show me the most expensive thing on the lot. Yeah, we've had guys that pulled around a car to show us after we thought we made ourselves clear what we were looking for, a family car for 2 young children and so on, and they brought around a 2-door with no back seat that was a fancy smancy little sports car because we were young and wouldn't we want to be driving around in a nice car? It's like, you know what? I'd like to talk to another sales rep.
Yeah.
We did that when we bought the what was that? The Dodge Colt back around 1987. The sales rep that first approached us in the lot tried to sell us a car that was not at all what we were asking for. We ended up leaving that lot, going to another one, and I went in and said, "Who's your newest sales rep?" Steve over there. And would you mind calling him over? And I told Steve, "Look, this is what we're looking for." And I gave him all the points I was looking for. And we were, talk about a hot sale, we were getting ready to leave the state and needed to buy a reliable car. We were going to buy a car probably that day. Yeah. And there was a sales rep at another place that lost his commission because he was being a jerk and wasn't listening.
Yeah.
So, valuable lesson there. So, believe it or not,
how did we get on that?
We're out of time. I'll tell you
how
about
did we get on that topic?
I don't know.
Sales.
I want to tell you about something. I have an iPhone 5S now, and it uses a lightning cord. And I had a 4S that used the standard 30-pin cord that my iPad 2 uses. My wife has had 2 iPhones now. They use the 30-pin cord. We have these cords everywhere. They're in every car. They're in my office and so on. And now I have the lightning, and I have one cord that I've been carrying in and out of the car, into the house, traveling with me, and I forgot it.
In Apple's, getting Apple's cables, they're $20 a piece.
Yeah, they're really proud of their cables.
Yeah.
So I did buy one cord that's dedicated to the car.
Yep.
So it's got a cigarette lighter adapter on the end, and that one just stays there. I got the stock cord is plugged into my house, and it was traveling around with me. On Fast Tech, a website that Seth and I have bought a fair amount of things, and we've jokingly called it slow tech because it's not always fast. They had this flat lightning cord that's about twice the length of the standard cord.
So 6 feet, probably.
And I want to say that I paid $2 for it. And it works fantastic. It really does. But one concern I wasn't aware of until I started doing some research is Apple has something of a proprietary chip somewhere in here that will keep some of these from transferring data. So you might be able to buy one of these and charge with it, but it may not transfer data. Now, I haven't tried with these yet. What's your experience been with that, boy?
Yeah, that happens. A lot of the ones that you get from the gas station are ones that they bought from Chinese websites. Fast Tech, the other place that you could shop is Monoprice. They have U.S. shipping. Their prices are going to be just a smidgen. I mean, this might be $2.50 or $3 on Monoprice, and it's got U.S. shipping. The problem with Slow Tech, Fast Tech, and that's where I buy a lot of vaping stuff. You can buy a lot of clone, knockoff things or pieces, atomizers, don't buy batteries there, tanks, things that you can get for just dirt cheap, but they're shipped out of a warehouse in China, and so I've had things take 6 weeks to get to me. He said he was able to get this in a week, which is amazing.
They send things, I don't know how they do it, but they're sending them through some kind of consolidator. So they're paying, in my case, the shipping was
usually
free.
Shipping is almost always free.
The shipping was free,
yeah.
So you figure you're going to wait a while for it. But they are obviously filling a container of stuff, shipping it, and then the postage that's on it is basically U.S. shipping.
And you can actually choose from something like 12 different shipping options. So you can choose where your object is routed through. So some of the things like batteries or some of the atomizers, wires, they're going to get stuck in customs in different cities. So you can actually research where's the best place to ship through if I'm buying XYZ, and to know where the customs is going to take less time. So Hong Kong is usually pretty good, but sometimes during some seasons they want to stop everything that comes through, so it's going to get stuck in customs.
Japanese New Year runs a month.
Yeah,
so that's a tough time to get anything out of. I'm sorry, Chinese New Year, not Japanese New Year.
Yeah. But that said, this probably won't transfer data. But if you have two cables that do,
I've got two.
How often are you transferring data?
Versus charging?
Versus charging, yeah. You're going to charge it all the time. So these can be great. The ones that I get do transfer data. They are higher quality. They're $10 on Amazon with Prime shipping. They are Anker or Anker, depending on your pronunciation. That's the company that makes that battery pack that I recommended, and also that multi-port charger brick that some of you purchased. I recommended a while back. Same company, so they make higher quality. So for $10, half the price of the Apple one, and that one does transfer data. I have 3 or 4 of those, and you can get those in black or white. You definitely want to get ones that are higher quality if you're charging a iPad, because the newer iPads have switched to the Lightning cables as well.
Fast Tech is with 2 T's in the middle. Fast Tech. And we'll put a link in the doobly-doo again.
I've got something coming from Fast Tech. I am so excited to show you guys. So it'll probably be here in like 3 months. And I'll share it with you then. I really am excited about it.
Well, how much time have we got on this one?
Too much.
Yeah, we got a little bit long. Gosh, I hope you found this useful. If you're in sales, maybe you did. If not, maybe you can leave us a comment below. How do you like to be sold? Or do you?
Before we go, to give kind of a call to action.
And remember, we were going to talk about a bit of news?
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
You know what? This is the problem with us recording a block of videos at once, is that it's been a couple weeks since we got this news, and then we're recording this, and it'll be a few weeks before we air this. So while this is old news now that you're watching it, it's new at this moment, kind of.
Newish, yeah. So the news, and then call to action. My wife and I went to the doctor. We found out that we are having a human child.
Yay!
Yeah, and then and the way that we did the reveal was kind of fun. We had a piñata that we told all of our family was filled with candy of the color, so pink or blue, to reveal the gender. And we let the kids that were there at the reveal party beat the snot out of the piñata.
And by kids, he's talking about this guy.
Yeah, well, we gave up on the kids because they weren't getting the job done. And it opened up, and it was glitter and confetti and all assorted colors and types of candy, and everyone said, wait, what? And so I played it off like I was upset. I said, did they screw up at Party City? What's going on? Apparently, a lot of people that know us bought it anyway. I was shocked by that. I was explaining to people 30 minutes later that no, that was just a joke. We were just messing with you. And then immediately we gave Ender a bag that he pulled out, a toy train, and we are having a boy. So
toy train painted blue.
Painted blue.
It's
a boy. Yep. So everyone said, "Wait, what? What are you going to do?
Was that plan B? Is that why you had the train with you?
Are you going to go complain to Party City about the piñata?" No, that was part of it. It was a gag. You're fine.
It's misdirection.
That's right. So we're having a boy. I will have 2 boys come June. I'm very excited.
I will then have 4 grandsons, 2 of which will carry on the Markwood name. Now, I only had the one boy. My dad only had 1 son. So this is really exciting to see some
200% chance
continuation of the lineage.
That's right.
So
I have done my duty. Next one will be a girl, hopefully. Or
a boy.
Yeah, either way. Hopefully, either way. It's awesome. We're very excited.
When's he due?
Technically June 6th, but because of the hospital, because my wife's gonna have to have a C-section. She had a C-section with the first. So it's likely that the date will be June 2nd, unless there's some sort of emergency, she goes into labor before that. But that's just looking at the calendar, they scheduled that far out. So
Neat.
So if somebody here has been, if we've piqued their interest by this sales talk, what is a resource or 2 or 3 resources that you would recommend to them by way of learning more? So, like, one of the things that helps me, not necessarily sales related, but as I mentioned earlier, or earlier, is Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Of which you shared one of the family advices, right, about the person who controls, who asks the questions controls the conversation. Something that the kids learned as kids, because I had read Dale Carnegie's book.
Highly, highly recommended.
There are a couple great books, and really my favorite books aren't even about sales, they're about attitude. The Magic of Thinking Big is a great book. It's old. Some of the examples in it, are dated. Talk about going and grabbing a blue plate special lunch that's only $1.25. It's only 25 cents more than what you're going to find at a local diner.
So is Carnegie's book. That was old.
That's a really good book, and I'm trying to think what the other one was that I've recommended so many times. And of course, I'm going blank on it. Again, in the doobly-doo.
All right, that's all you got.
We'll link to it. Well, yeah. There's other books. There are some books that I would suggest after having had some sales training.
Yeah.
Because I work with salesmen and women, and I do training with them, and it's only after we complete that training I would recommend that they delve deeper into one aspect or another. But again, for me, it's about relationship building.
Yeah.
I do very much enjoy The Art of War, and there is a version of The Art of War for salespeople that's written very well. I have another version of The Art of War that's on my laptop, or excuse me, on my iPad, that has some amazing annotations in it, and I could find out what the actual version of that is. I think that version's a free Kindle book, and I like that one. Again, I guess doobly-doo.
Cool. All right, well, there you have it.
There you have it. All right, let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Lady, gentlemen,
Consider it wrapped.
it's great to see you again. Make it a great week.
Bye, guys.